What's good, Liberators? Fingers here, and this is Dx2 Demon Review, and today we are talking about the T-pose herd around the world, the vile one, Demiurge, a recent acquisition of mine, courtesy of the anniversary banner. So we're gonna talk about him because he's got quite a bit to offer. Let's jump right in. An imperfect god of Gnosticism who created the material world. Thank you for that. According to Gnostics of the Roman Empire, the Demiurge proclaims himself as God. When Adam and Eve gain knowledge, he casts them out in anger. Wow, what a dick. The Demiurge wishes for the souls of humans to be trapped in the material world forever. Okay, that's one goal that you can have in life. Let's check out the stats. Great magic stat. Baseline 222. Pump that up to 242. Cap it out at a grand total of 262. Should you want to, and that is a perfectly viable way to go. He's also got some pretty good vitality. 176 baseline and some decent luck while we're at it. Baseline of 164, is it? Yep, 164 is his baseline luck. So fantastic. If you're going to go Mitamas, magic vitality 220. No substitutions, extensions, refunds. Those are where you want to put them. And then give him a minor in luck. Putting Mitamas and anything else is really tragic waste unless for some reason you're trying to get him in a specific turn order and you need to increase his agility by a few pips to make him go before someone else. Otherwise, yeah, magic vitality, that's where you want to be living at. He knows fire, ice, light, and darkness. Cool, but useless. He resists electric and force. Again, completely useless. This is a PvP demon, and nulls are generally useless, though I do like the meme of giving him null electricity and null force just so he's the bane of any new player's existence, because those pierce effects, they're harder to come by when you're just starting out. Those low-grade demons don't really come equipped with them, and there are only a few that you can fuse. And so mainly that's a gacha exclusive realm, but still I find that very funny. So the skills for the transferable Megadolon, the most powerful transferable almighty sweep attack with a power of 120. And okay, that's fine. Megadolon can hit in PvP. In PvE I find it generally sucks when you can't expose a weakness when it costs you a full press turn to do an attack. It's an issue. It's the biggest issue with almighty attacks is that you cannot exploit a half press turn. So if you're going to use this, you kind of want to make sure he's going on a half press turn, and that might take some rigging with your brands. Get some lead brands on, fiddle with some demon's agility so he's sitting in the right place to ensure that he's only using a half press turn when he pops this off. But if you build him to be a magic hitter, he can hit with this skill. And for the first unique skill, and the first of the two that make him just... I love demons that give you tactical flex. And once upon a time, there was Alilot, who nullified pierce effects against demons who had a repel effect against that pierce's element. And then we were blessed with Rama, who reinforced drains against pierce effects. And then Aravaka came along, again reinforcing repels against pierce attacks. And if there's another demon who could do that, I'm drawing a blank on it. But then came Demiurge, who fucking did both. So, not only did he do both, but he gives you a nice little, some icing on that particular pierce, repel, drain cake. False God, plus 10% to almighty damage. Fantastic. While the demon with this skill is alive, Pierce will have no effect on any party member that can repel the attribute they are attacked with. Will not activate in Alter World, blah, blah, blah. And activates the following chain effect when a party member, including self, I don't know why they include that because he can't drain or repel anything, but okay, it's there for posterity. Yeah, making sure you know. Maybe they'll introduce repel and drains as transferables, and then God help us all. Repels an enemy attack. If you repel an attack, you inflict almighty magic damage with the power of 100 on all your enemies. So you come in with a physical hit against the Demiurge team. They repel a physical hit, bounces back on you, and then Demiurge pops off, blasting you with some almighty magic. Very cool. And if you level this up 3 times, you add plus 10% to his almighty damage. And I believe this applies to his Megadolon as well as his False God attack. So it's a general, hey, his almighty damage overall perks up. So if you, for some reason, you transfer another almighty skill onto him, that should increase that damage as well. And a caveat with this skill and Supreme Creator, his other skill. If someone attacks you, say you have 2 demons who can repel physical attacks and you get attacked with a physical sweep attack, 2 things get repelled in that one attack. You will only get False God once. But if you're in a situation like with Shrosha, where his skill, his chain effect, pops off twice, and say you get a double repel off of his chain effect, Soul Judgment, it ding ding and double repels back onto him, this will fire off twice off the separate chain effects. So be aware, it won't fire off twice if a generic sweep attack double repels on that one attack. But if his chain effect goes off twice, like I said, like Shrosha's chain, he will do it and do it again. And I've seen this in action, especially with Supreme Creator, where my Shrosha will tap someone and then shred. He'll shred another person, causing him to Soul Judgment again, shred. But Demiurge is still standing, and he'll double heal with Supreme Creator. It happens. Be aware. And for the other unique skill, the Supreme Creator reduces the cost of all skills by 1 MP. Fantastic, because Megadolon is a costly beast at 8 MP. So that is a nice touch. Now you got False God giving him extra almighty damage. The Supreme Creator taking the sting out of that MP cost just a little bit. And while the one with the skill is alive, Pierce will have no effect on any party member that can drain the attribute they are attacked with. Won't operate in Alter World break system bullshit. Activates the following chain effect when a party member, including self, again, he doesn't drain or repel anything, but whatever, drains an enemy attack, heals HP of all party members by 75 with a power of 75, and increases everyone's MP by 1. Very cool. And if you level this up, you increase the healing amount, which, healing in PvP is not something I generally focus on, but hey, it's there. I would focus on False Gods. If you're low on resources and you're needing to make this choice, I would definitely go the False God route. But hey, Supreme Creator, it's there. He can heal you if you run headfirst into this guy. And again, this is why I really like this demon and why I think he earns his grade of 99. Even though I don't run him in PvP, I've run against him many times. And he's got some stank on him, and he's earned that grade just because of the tactical flexibility he gives you. There are enough demons that have multiple repels on them, multiple drains on them, that you can literally get 3 other demons surrounding him that can either repel or drain every single element. Right? So you've got all 7 elements covered. And that's just really cool, in my opinion. I think that's great. Now, for the archetype skill, I've got him Psychic 4, Null, Mortal, which, if you are running him in PvP, and your plan is to use him solely for his passive abilities, to reinforce repels on everything and just have his repels and drains firing off, this is probably where you want to be. Null Mortal is very rare skill, less rare these days, but only certain demons are allowed to have this skill. So when you see it available, if you're going to be running in PvP, this is something you really, really, really want to consider. As for the transferables, I gotcha'd him with Infernal Mask, which is 60% reduction in receiving status ailments. Hey, can't go wrong with that. Null Bind would actually be a really something you might want to consider, because even if he's charmed or muted, his chain effect will still go off, even if he's got any of the other status effects. But Bind shuts that nonsense right down. But some others, I mean, Almighty Survivor would be a great one for him. Hell, just going Enduring Soul plus on him would be good if you're just using him for his passive abilities. If you're building him as the Battle Mage Extraordinaire, you can go, again, Almighty Survivor, boosts Almighty Attack. You can give him Butcher or Serial Killer, which increases multi-hit damage. One thing I've seen many people do is build their Demiurge as hyper evasive. Now, you can use this guy to shut down a physical team, but you need him to be a slippery mofo. Now, evade, the evade passive, the dodge passive, doubling those up is perfectly viable. He's got a panel that increases his evasion, giving him evasion brands, pairing him with a demon or two that repels or drains physical. Those demons are common enough, and there are plenty of powerful gacha exclusive demons that are really good in PvP that you can throw on there. I run a speedster physical team for my random team. If I see Demiurge on a team, Demiurge dies first, unless Ji Wang Mu is in the picture, in which case she dies first and then he dies first. But that's neither here nor there. It's not a particular problem. But yeah, Demiurge dies first. So if you can shut down that physical potential, it's devastating. If you whiff trying to one-shot this guy, you are boned. If you're running a speedy physical team. And since he has no weaknesses, it's going to be a lot harder to one-shot him without that critical potential. So that's a perfectly viable way to go. I've seen the only time I have trouble with Demiurge is when he's built to be hyper evasive, and I have whiffed on this bastard, having Sukakaja up on my team and Secunda on the enemy, and with Cardi K in the party giving me an additional 20% accuracy for everyone. So he can be built especially annoying in that regard. So that is one thing you really want to consider. But again, you are basically designing him to shut down one specific type of team. And as we all know, today's game, there's dozens of viable teams that are out there, and you will be vulnerable to those teams should you choose to focus on this one. But hey, it can be effective. A lot of people run physical teams, so something to consider. As for brands, I see Life brands and Divine brands being the ones for PvP. Me personally, if I were to run them, I'd go with Life brands. Probably Evasion brands with him. That's the way you're going. I mean, Ward brands, but if I was going to run him, I'd be running him with someone who would be able to wipe away ailments on that big counterattack. Because if you're running Demiurge, you're running slow. I mean, his agility is 98. Yeah. If this guy's on your team, you're running slow, so you'd best be building him to survive at least one wave of attacks. So I would go Life brands, but Divine brands, if you want to go Battle Mage route, hey, that is perfectly viable and something to consider. As for the panels, panel 1, plus 10% physical evasion rate, very, very annoying to me specifically, but hey, I find it to be I hate demons who have evasion panels. and plus 10% to HP healing skill effectiveness, which works with his Supreme Creator. Hey, great stuff. Panel 2 reduces the cost of all skills by 1 MP. Activates the following chain effect when the enemy enters a state of repel magic. Removes repel magic from all enemies. Which, okay, I get it. Sounds good. In practical application, I find this to be useless. Just because, come on, how often are you throwing up the 5 elements these days in PvP? I mean, I know there are 1 or 2 demons who auto put up a magic repel shield, but generally speaking, you're piercing right through that, and it's just like, come on now, that's just... But the reduction in MP cost, bringing his Megadolon down to 6 MP to fire off. Hey, can't complain about that, especially if you're going the Battle Mage route. And the big one, panel 3, plus 10% to almighty damage, and plus 25% to maximum HP, which is really the rock star, I think, is the HP boost on that. Because, again, he's running slow. He's going to be taking hits. He's going to be target number 1, generally speaking. He will be targeted first, again, unless Ji Wangmu is in the picture. But yeah, he's going to be one of the primary. You're gunning for him first, so you best build him to last, or he's going to go down. He's going to go down hard. And before we wrap it up, let us check out the archetypal skills, because if I remember, he's got some bangers. And at the very least, there's something to consider. Null Mortal is hard to pass up on, but he's got some fun ones here. For the Origami, Ars Magna inflicts almighty magic damage on a single enemy with a power of 200. So if you are looking to delete some demons and you go Battle Mage with him, oof. And this is an archetype skill, so it naturally reduces the MP cost by 1, bringing it to 7. He's got Supreme Creator, which reduces it again to 6. If you've got his second panel, this gets knocked down to 5 MP. So, boom. Oof, you could run spell brands on him at those rates and one-shot guys into oblivion. So, hey, hard to argue this over Null Mortal, but damn, it is there. And the Protector archetype, and one skill that I love this skill. I've never used this skill ever in my life, but I love this skill. Invasion. Increases attack, defense, and evasion and accuracy of all party members by 20%, and reduces attack, defense, and evasion and accuracy of all enemies by 20%. So basically, it's just, you may as well just call this skill Tide Turner, where it just completely flips everything in your favor, and then you go on the attack. That's awesome. And it only cost 7 MP because of the archetype skill. 8 MP naturally, but 7 MP because of the archetype skill. And again, he's got those MP reductions in his panel. And does... Oh, geez, I forget if Supreme Creator reduces just almighty skills or all skills. I think it's just almighty skills. I could be wrong on that, though. But either way, his panel specifically says all skills. So if you have that second panel, this is 6 MP. Booyah. That's 6 MP well spent. And the Psychic Archetype Null Mortal, which we discussed, fantastic for PvP. Hard to argue against it. It's so rare, so selectively given, and for a demon like Demiurge that is often targeted first, above all, it's a great skill to have to avoid those one-shot mofos we all know are out there in the wild. And for the Elementalist archetype, Null Electric and Null Force. Now, I've been saying for a while that Elementalist archetypes need a buff. And this is more in line with what I'm talking about. I still find this to be useless. Don't get me wrong. Elementalist, still the big loser for Demiurge. But this is a step in the right direction, where it's not just null this and repel that, or it's just this kind of singularly focused thing that will only be situationally useful. I really think they should, it should be like null electric and increases electric damage by 15%. Something along those lines. Null electric plus an endure. You make some new skills, much like Almighty Survivor, which combines, a damage boost with endure. You need to do more with the Elementalist archetype to make them more viable. But again, I love the meme of this and having him just null everything except physical attacks, making him just the bane of any new player who just will see it and just be like, I can't even land a blow on this guy. I do like that. So that about wraps it up for Captain T-Pose here. And, I want to believe he's the one responsible for bringing the T-Pose to such prominence in our society. Because let's be fucking real here. This boy been T-posing since before it was cool. I mean, this guy's been T-posing. Wow, what? Was he introduced in Shin Megami Tensei 2? How far back does this guy go? He goes back a ways. And he's been T-posing all the live long day. And when an SMT demon has more than 2 wings, you know he's an absolute monster. The more wings you got in SMT, the more stank you got behind them fists. And of course he keeps it modest because he specifically uses 2 wings to hide his shame, bringing us back to those biblical roots. Have a good one, Liberators. Don't get captured.